California. Okay, so now we'll move forward to the presentation from the Port of Brownsville. Thank you to our distinguished speakers for those opening remarks. Now we'll move to Mr. Guillermo Rico, Director of Business Development and Marketing for the Port of Brownsville. Round of applause.
Good morning, buenos días. Let me talk a little bit about the port. That's the presentation begin. Here we are. Oh, let me find, see if this works. Right there. Okay, the Port of Brownsville, we start on 1936. We're going to be 90 years old next year, and we're going to celebrate. I guess the Chairman Guerra will invite all of you to celebrate at the port. You know, 90 years is a long time, but we've been growing. That's the key part. We've been bringing jobs not only to Brownsville, to all the region. The Chairman and the Commissioner objective is to create jobs, to get involved with the community, to get improve the quality of life, to be environmental responsible, not only to do things, also to handle a lot of the windmills, renewable energy. To do all this, we are the hub, the logistic hub for many of those projects, and for the industry. We support the industry. We're industry friendly, and we got. Later I'm gonna tell you how many projects we have on hand. It was in 1936. That's how it looks. The port. That was dock number 3. Dock number 1. Excuse me. See the cars. You can see the era. And our founder is Commodore Louis Cobolini, an immigrant. Okay, he somehow on the Great Depression he went to Washington and get some of money to build a 17 miles channel that now is a Brownsville navigation channel. Okay. The sad part, it was like in 1938 when we started the operation of the port. He passed away like 1 year or 2 years early. Okay, but that's how it looks the port on 1938, and this is how it looks a few years ago. When we start, we move. Let me get the microphone. When we start, we used to move a lot of commodities like cotton, grains, tropical fruit, exporting and importing. Now it's more cargo like steel, aluminum, mineral, gasoline, diesel, a lot of components for the windmill energy and space industry. Recently we get a lot of equipment for the LNG project. That was 1940, that's 2024. That tank is for SpaceX. This is how it looks, the 40,000 acres, the largest land owning public port authority in the US. You can see the Port of Brownsville, you can see the SpaceX, and one of the great things, we own property all the way to the Rio Grande in 2 parts. I keep moving this thing. But in this, we have a presidential permit to build an international bridge. It's not an active project. We're still looking for a Mexican partner. Mexican government has been changing the rules. Now they don't invest that much in that type of projects, but we're still looking. I hope one day we can have it. We are the only deep water seaport directly into the U.S. and Mexican border. We have a large and growing petroleum and breakthrough trades, especially steel. We have our companies around the border have more than 14,000 local employees, and we are the home of the SpaceX. What do we have on access to the national transportation? We connect to the I-69, to the I-2, and the State Highway 550, that will be the I-169. We connect to the BRG, or local railroad company. Here is Sharif, the director. And we connect to the north with Union Pacific, BNSF, and to the south with CPKC. We also have the Gulf Interconnected Waterway. That Marine Highway Corridor connects the Port of Brownsville via barge all the way to New Orleans. And then in New Orleans, you can get to the Mississippi River, and you go all the way north. Just to give you an example, every week we receive barges with steel rolls from US Steel, and they have a distribution center at the port, and they send by rail and truck to all the customers in Mexico. And that's happening every day. A lot of also petroleum products comes through using the barge corridor. Also, we have pipeline connectivity to the US and Mexico. We have pipeline to Corpus Christi. We have a pipeline, the natural gas pipeline, going from Agua Dulce, Corpus Christi, all the way to Tuxpan, Veracruz. We have a pipeline going from the port, one of the terminals, to Refinería Cadereyta. We have different pipelines and keep growing. On the infrastructure, we have 13 cargo docks. Cargo docks, 6 liquid cargo docks. The storage, we have more than 1 million square foot of cold storage, and patios, we have 3.5 million square foot and keep growing. That's the chairman don't like that much to invest in those, but we keep growing because we keep having more business. When we present the business, they say, okay, let's do it. And we keep growing. Our deck is 42 feet all the way, the channel. But currently we are deepening the channel. We're going to 52. It's been a year and a half of that project in the works. I guess by the end of next year, we're going to be 52 foot. Then we can call any vessel, the biggest on the world we can call. Just to give you an example, Ternium right now average between 50,000 to 55,000 sometimes tons per vessel. They will bring 65 to 70,000 tons per vessel. That's what they represent for Ternium. But for the LNG, represent also that they can operate safe and without any problems. I'm going to talk a little bit more. The connectivity we have around the world, you can see we connect with most of the continents, different commodities. The products, as I say, steel is one of the top ones. On liquid cargo, petroleum products is for years it's been one of our main products. And project cargoes, as they say, wind energy components and space industry and a lot of equipment. You can see this year, I don't know why, I don't know if the drive or something is happening, but this is aluminum. We've been getting like 4 times the amount of aluminum compared with last year. And you can see the pallets over there, they're full of aluminum. And you know, one is aluminum, then is something else. Also some limestone we have for the project, and we've been getting a lot. They keep the port busy. Last year, we handled about 28 million tons. The important thing is, you can see, 2020, 11.6, and how we've been growing to 28 million tons. And it keeps going. We think it's going to grow more, especially in 2-3 years that the LNG start running. The first project, they're going to have food production more than 30 million tons a year. It means that if by that time we are 35, 40 million tons of port, plus extra 30, then we're going to go to 70 million tons per year. The growing is going to be very important. We move about 95,000 rail cars on 2024, 450,000 trucks, 2,322 vessels, and about 12.1 million tons commodity via pipelines. Or 43 zones, which is very important, especially now on the tariff days. You know, it helps a lot the companies to hold some products. We are the number 3 out of the 193 free trade zones around the United States. It's about $7 million. We are 14 in imports, about 3.2. The total is $10.2 billion what our foreign trade zones handle. For the Texas economy, it represents about $12 billion. On direct business, it's about $180 million. And statewide economic output is $10.4 billion. That's 2023. Jobs, 66,212 in Texas indirect jobs. For the region, on 2023 was 10,000. Now we're more than 14,000. And the local economy on 2023, they estimate $732 million. Okay, what do we got in business? The shipbuilding, we got Brownsville is the only major shipbuilder yard in the United States. They build 2 container carrier vessels for Pasha, Hawaii. On that picture is the MV George III. They are right now in operation between Hawaii and California. They already built 2 of those, and they keep building ship. We're expecting for them to grow now with the new federal policy about shipbuilding in the United States. And on the other side, we have ship recycling. We capture our 4 major companies capture about 85% of the national ship recycling business, where, you know, U.S. Navy, MARA, and commercial ship. On the picture, you can see the Kitty Hawk. That carrier is no longer visible. They already scrapped it out. And today, you go to the port, you can see the carrier John F. Kennedy is being scrapped. And I guess it's going to be, by next year, it will no longer be there. We generate a lot of scrap steel, which is recycled for steel, and it helps a lot of the industry, you know, especially the industry. Our current projects, what's happening right now at the port? We have, as I mentioned, we are deepening the channel in 2 phases. The phase 1 is the entrance, and is this part, the entrance, all the way to the LNG project. The LNG, Rio Grande LNG next decade, they're paying for that phase, is $400 million. On the second part, The port, together with the Army Corps of Engineers, the government, we are building the second part, which is $139 million. And we are expecting to keep growing in the next 3 or 4 years, and that way will be over $500 million at the end. And we're gonna have a channel with 52 foot that we can bring any vessel. We just done with this project is our industrial park inside the port. You can see the channel right here. Is right here. We have our first tenant, Westas. I'm going to talk a little bit about. And it's 118 acre shovel-ready business park. There's ready for it. What do we have? Is 18 loads. Now it's more than 15. Concrete and wide street for heavy load. Strong drainage and channel system. Fire suppressor system. Multi-transportation. Perimeter fence. LED street lighting. Underground electrical circuit. And we got all the services. The security and everything is going to be done by our police department. Westas Inc. is a pioneer food manufacturing. They are the port, they're working on the project, and they will, the food, they're going to produce flour meal and sunflower oil. It's a $20 million investment and 120 jobs. Ternium Pesqueria, Ternium is, I guess, our major customer. They move 5.5 million tons of steel per year. And now they're building a plant in Pesqueria. I guess it's $7.2 billion expansion. They're going to produce the slab that they produce in Brazil. They're going to produce it in Monterrey for the expansion, you know. And they're going to need to bring iron ore, about 3 million tons of iron ore. And they're planning to build a terminal at the port, 200 million investment, to handle those additional 3 million tons. Force Steel is a company out of Monterrey. They're manufacturers of tubes and pipe for the automobile construction and oil and gas industry. It's an initial investment of $85 million. Indirect job for 150, and direct job 150. Right now, they're already starting up. They're producing. They're about 10-20% capacity. It's about 550,000 square foot warehouse. And they're very happy because this project, we closed the deal before COVID. And they, you know, COVID, they kind of slow down. But now they're, and at that time, they were trying to have the production for the U.S. customer. But now with the tariff, they're very, very happy because they don't have to pay tariff. And they have to pay tariff on the Monterrey production, but not on the port production. And they're speeding up the process because they need more production. This is the LNG projects, or STAR projects. Rio Grande LNG is right here. The Gulf of America is right here. And Texas LNG is here. Let's talk about those projects. This is next decade Rio Grande LNG. We're expecting a $26 billion investment. They start with 18 for 3 trains of production. Now they are already authorized the number 4 and number 5. Then they're estimating $26 billion investment. It's been under construction almost for 2 years. They're expecting to have 5,000 jobs for construction phase. Let me talk about this because this is very important for the community, for the college. Right now, out of those 4,000, they were committed to hire 30% of regional labor, but they find out there are 71% of regional labor. What it means that we have enough qualified people to work on on this type of project. You're talking about more than 4,000. But not only that, talking with the CEO of Next Decade, he was mentioned that the construction company, Bechtel, he's very happy with this project. It's one of the best projects. And when we asked why, he said, just let me give you an example of the welders. Welders, in average, we have between 3–4% errors. Here in this project, we have 1%. The quality of the labor is right here. And this is one of the best projects they've been having. Permanent job will be about 300 jobs. Texas L&D, we expect them to start construction the first quarter of next year. It's going to be next to the Rio Grande. That's a small project. It's only $6 million. They will hire about 1,200 construction workers and about 100 permanent jobs. Let me just give you an idea what are we doing in business development, with the leadership of our commissioners. We're handling right now about 20 industrial projects. That's active. We're working yesterday. We have a visitor of one. We have a 7:30 meeting by video with a Japanese company. And every week we handle, this is active project. We have 20 projects. When we add all the investment that they may have, is about $30+ billion and more than 10,000 workers. Okay, we're trying to bring all this project. We work very close with the governor's office. We answer any RFI that makes sense for the port, and we've been very successful. At least we have, from the governor's office, we have about 4 projects active. One of them, we are on the final stage. We are on one of the finalists. We hope we can bring it over because that project is expecting about more than 10,000 employees in 10 years. It's very important for us, and an investment of more than $4 billion. And what are we doing also about the workforce? We have UTRGV, we have Somos College, we have college here in Harlingen, everywhere. But the port also, the leadership of the commissioners said, bring Texas A&M. And now we have the training center over there. But we get $30 million investment for a 32,000 square foot that now is under construction. We just went and meet with them for one of the projects and say, how are you going to train all these people that I have on this project? And they say, we got it, That's good news for us. It's good news for this new project. We're expecting to have that 30,000 square foot training center by next year. You see the governor and the chairman, Commissioner Reed and Commissioner Lopez and Wood, and Greg Rakely. But now it's under construction. That's what we're doing, and we're trying to bring not only jobs for the Brownsville region, all the region. And when I talk about region, it's Mexico and U.S. When we talk about workforce on the project, we say, don't see only the statistics on the U.S. side, because we have in Mexico, we have a lot of labor. And I can tell you for sure, because I was involved, a lot of welders are coming from Mexico. I was involved in training programs in Matamoros for welders, and they come and get jobs over here with permits. Anyway, thank you very much. That's the port. That's what's happening at the port. That's our information for the business development team. And if you have any questions, or you can call me anytime, or I'm ready to answer questions. That's what I do. Thank you.